Get ready for your ultimate ESG policy guide, or should I say policies guide, because when you are growing your sustainable business, you will not just need one, but several policies to cover your bases as a sustainable business. What is up, sustainability friends? My name is Jessie Fram, and I'm a sustainability consultant coach, and I post weekly videos teaching you how to grow as a sustainability professional. Welcome to this ultimate ESG guide, where you'll get to know everything you really need to know when you are getting ready to write your ESG policies. And for inspiration, we'll also look at Unilever as an example, because I have found over time that they're actually really helpful. And policies, well, think of them as the guidelines that keep your business accountable and transparent across its sustainability efforts. You could say it is keeping it on the green and ethical path. Think of ESG as a collection of building blocks, each representing a different area to focus on within your business. And these blocks, they come together to create a strong foundation for responsible business practices. And maybe it is my Danish heritage, but I like to think of it a bit like playing with Lego, where everything stacks up. ESG policies are designed for a wide range of stakeholders, and it's crucial for a company's executives and employees because it guides daily operations and long-term strategies for how are we going to get there. Investors, they also rely on these policies to make informed decisions, and customers, they tend to look at this to make sure that the company's values actually align with their sustainability values and objectives. Let's talk about the different types of policies. If we start with E for environmental policies, this pillar often include policies on climate action, which could include your environmental policy and responsible sourcing policy. Other E areas could be biodiversity, materials and resources, or waste. Let's not waste any more time. Then we have the category of social policies, and this area covers policies that ensure equity, diversity, and inclusion, something that's super important inside every business. For instance, your code of business principles should promote respect, dignity, and fair treatment for all employees. Additionally, you could have a responsible partner policy that outlines how you ensure that all business partners adhere to the same high standards as your business. Another S or social area that are really close to my heart is human rights, and therefore human rights policies. Let me know in the comments what policies you are thinking of writing. And I also note that we actually have templates on the Planet 1.5 website under digital resources, where you can find help to actually write your policies. So I've left a link for you in the comments below. Now that you know what ESG policies are made up of, let's talk about G for governance, which is a bit of a specific pillar. This pillar is all about demonstrating responsible business practices, and policies here might include your code of business principles, a responsible business partner policy. These policies should ensure transparency, ethical behavior, and strong leadership within your company. Think of it as the captain steering the sustainability ship.
Are you ready, kids?
What is particularly important here is that you know your material topics or risk areas, because this will help you determine which areas of your business you need this type of policies around. Because in the end, policies are there to help you navigate your business strategy and minimize risks. I always say that a good policy shows the reader around the business. So in this case, you want to showcase your sustainable efforts. So don't be afraid of taking the reader on a tour, linking to places that could be on your website. It could be other PDF downloadables where you are letting the reader dive into further information about what you are actually doing. So exemplify it. I always say that this is where we get our hands dirty. Don't be afraid of going into the nitty gritty. And speaking of writing ESG policies, I have a really helpful quiz in the comments helping you to find out how ready you are to lead your company's sustainability transformation. It is simple and I have left it for you in the comments below. If you like this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel so that you're not missing out on any further helpful content. So with that, I want to quickly show you how Unilever is using the Lego building block system to showcase their ESG policies all together on their website. And it's amazing and it's a really good inspiration. So let's dive into the laptop and follow along. All right, we are on it again, and I just want to show you how I usually find policies when I'm reviewing companies. So let's do Unilever ESG policies. I'm also linking this link in this one in the comments, so you can find it straight from the comments. But this is my method, not very rocket science. I go on Google and I Google. So I really like the way Unilever has written not just their policies, they're doing them really well, by the way. They're definitely worth your time to dive into, but also the way they are structuring it. Remember how I am always referencing the Lego break method? You need to have everything working together as a puzzle, complementing each other. So our policies underpin our approach to sustainable business. Over many years, we've developed standards and policies to help us manage a wide range of issues. Below, we summarize our most important policies. So they have two columns. On the left-hand side, they have their material topics or their buckets of where they are focusing their policies. So when you know what areas you're focused on in terms of sustainability, you can create your own buckets. Bucket one is climate action. And then you can see they have related policies to climate action. So in this case, environmental policy and responsible partner policy. That makes a lot of sense. And then protect and regenerate nature. So environmental policy, you can see that's going like kind of replicated. And then Unilever Sustainable Agriculture Code. I think that makes a lot of sense. They are having expectations probably on their suppliers, I would expect if I started reading this one. And then people and nature policy, responsible partner policy, and responsible sourcing policy. So we want to buy from responsible partners, something like that. Waste-free world. Obviously, Unilever comes with lots of plastic and packaging and carbon footprint, also a waste footprint. So an environmental policy of how they're mitigating this. What are their strategies? Where can you find more about it? Responsible partner policy. Again, they see this as a shared responsibility between Unilever and their partners. Then we have positive nutrition. So they're leaning in. This is interesting, right? We have our health goal in the sustainable development goals, and positive nutrition is a big part of that. And they're leaning in and taking ownership. So Unilever's principles on responsible food and beverages, marketing to children specifically. Then they have equity, diversity, and inclusion. So you can see that this is really their social. So code of business principles and responsible partners. I think it's interesting, right? So we go from climate to climate and like more climate or environment, and then positive nutrition. It's starting to lean into what's the people pillar, and then equity, diversity, and inclusion, definitely people, and then respect human rights. I think that's such an important one that no business can really avoid talking about. And then last but not least, responsible business. So this is really their governance. One thing that could improve, but it is in the absolute detail, would be that they could be like social, environmental governance, and they could maybe even color code it. But I am really happy with what I'm seeing. If you need inspiration for your policies, there is definitely a lot that you can learn from just going through all of these. And you can really see how this is all stacking up to the Lego composition of having different categories across ESG policies. Now that you know ESG policies are more than just a single policy, but a collection of policies across ESG showcasing your sustainability efforts, watch this next video where I'll teach you everything you need to know about GRI and sustainability reporting. I will see you in the next video.